everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I am exactly 1 week out from my powerlifting competition. Actually, I'm 4 days out. Oh my gosh, time is going by way too quick. Anyways, that's not what I wanted to say. I would have typically been water cutting right now, but since I weigh way under my weight class, thank God, I'm not. So I don't like to do water cuts. However, I know a lot of times water cuts are necessary, especially if you want to be a little bit more competitive in your weight class. I know, and I know. The title is clickbait as fuck, but it's not impossible. I mean, you can lose 15 pounds in a week. It's just gonna be with water. And it's not gonna last. And you're gonna be very miserable doing it. So I do not recommend this for long-term weight loss solutions. So stop looking for an easy trick to lose 15 pounds in a week. This is not for you. This is for athletic purposes in terms of making a weight class. To give you guys a quick background on how many water cuts I've done, I've probably done about 6 of them. And I've lost anywhere from just 5 pounds all the way up to 16 pounds. Now the 16 pounds was not on purpose, but anyways, I've had my fair share of experience with water cuts, and I kind of came up with my own formula which works for me. Again, this may not work for everyone. You might have to manipulate a little bit more factors. You may have to start earlier, you may have to start later. Everybody is different in terms of the way that they react to water. Anyways, there's a couple of things that you need to know before you actually start doing the water cuts, and that is, 1, how much do you normally weigh at night right before you go to sleep with your clothes off and everything, and then 2, how much do you weigh in the morning after you're done going to the bathroom, again with your clothes off, no food, no coffee, no water, you just woke up. That way you can calculate how much water weight you typically lose in one night. You probably want to start tracking this a month out. Another thing that you need to know way prior before your water cut is what body weight should you be training at compared to your weight class. So for women, I would recommend anywhere between 3 to 7% over your weight class, whatever your weight class is, times 0.0 and then the percentage. That should give you the range of how heavy you should be for that weight class. Anything more I would not recommend. So if you're like 10% above your weight class in terms of weights and you try to water cut that, it's going to kind of hinder your performance a little bit. So that's why I recommend 7. It's probably the most ideal for women. For men, they can actually get away with a little bit more. I think they can get away anywhere up to 12% heavier than their weight class. There is the high end, again what I said, the 7% for the women and the 12% for the men, and then the very low end, which is 0%, but I would say 3% for the women and then probably 5% for the men. That way you can kind of figure out what type of water cut you need to do. For the higher end, you're going to need a more manipulative water cut compared to the lower end where you don't really need to manipulate too many factors. So I'm gonna kind of go over a little bit of both with you because I have done both. So I have a chart here for you guys, and as you can see, I have 2 different weigh-ins. One is a 24-hour weigh-in and one is a 2-hour weigh-in. I would say for the 24-hour weigh-in, we are gauging it off the higher percentage that you need to lose. So for women, 7%. And then for men, 12%. And then for the 2-hour weigh-in, we want to go off of the smaller range, so the 3% for women and then the 5% for men, just because I don't recommend going anything higher for a 2-hour weigh-in, just because you need to replenish your electrolytes quicker than a 24-hour weigh-in. So let's start with the higher percentage since we have to manipulate a lot more factors. So that is the 24-hour weigh-in, as you can see, the meet day is Saturday, so you're going to be weighing in Friday, and let's say you're weighing in at 9 a.m. You want to kind of start by counting back 8 to 9 days prior weigh-in is when you should actually start manipulating some factors. So on my chart, I did an 8-day water cut type of deal. So every day leading up to Friday, you want to be weighing yourself morning and night, morning and night. So on Thursday, the week before, that's when we're going to start manipulating some factors. We're going to start manipulating our salt. We're going to start manipulating our water. And as for carbs, you're just going to want to have your carbs normal, like how you normally eat in a week. Maybe a little less, but not too much. You don't want to change too much too soon. First, you're going to start with drinking 2 gallons of water a day. Yes, 2 gallons of water. So now this should just be regular drinking water, spring water. Don't start drinking distilled water yet. And then you want to start sodium loading. Now with sodium loading, it is kind of hard to keep track of your sodium. I would recommend eating just a simple diet like rice and turkey, no vegetables, because we don't want to have any extra fiber in our system, just because we want to be as light as possible, and fiber will sit in your intestines for a while. Then I would recommend just getting salt packets from like the store or anything. Get anywhere between 10 to 12 salt packets a day. That's how you know you're sodium loading, and then just keep that consistent. Then you're going to continue this for 3 days afterwards, all the way up to the Sunday prior of weigh-ins. Now that is going to be your last high carb day, and the reason why we want to have high carbs, high sodium, a lot of water is because we want to retain as much water as possible. So you might notice a weight gain in this process, which is normal. The whole point of losing water weight is to have your body on one side of the spectrum, have it drop down, and then come back up. So that way, this is the week prior, this is when you weigh in, and this is the day of your meet. So you want to come back up to that high points. Again, that's the whole point of water loading and sodium loading. And then come Monday, we are dropping our carbs and no salt. We completely drop salt at this point. So you're literally eating bland food. So again, just stick to your normal meals, lower their carbs, have no salt. You're still drinking 2 gallons of water a day. Then comes Tuesday, we are gonna divide how many carbs you ate on Monday in half. And then you wanna still keep your water at 2 gallons a day. Then moving on to Wednesday, this is when you're going to drink only 1 gallon of distilled water. The whole point of distilled water is that it does not hold on to any minerals in your body. So basically we're flushing out our system. Distilled water is going to basically dehydrate you. It's not going to hold on to any of the electrolytes. So just remember that. So distilled water is just flushing your body out. And then you're going to be on 0 carbs. So 0 carbs this day, 0 salt this day, and distilled water. One mistake that a lot of people do is that once they eat, they start eating lower calories. Now, you don't want to eat lower calories because you still want to have that energy for the meat. You don't want to be in a calorie deficit. So try to fill the empty carb space with higher fats. So during these days, I like to eat a lot of eggs, and I like to eat almonds and things that is going to be higher in fat, but typically low in carbs. So probably not almonds. Probably eat almonds like Monday and Tuesday, but on Wednesday when it's 0 carbs, just eat fat without any salt. So I don't know, add oil to your chicken breast or something, make it a little bit more tasty. Maybe have a small steak. You don't want to lower your calories, you just want to have your carbs lowered. Now there might be a small change in how many calories you intake, because carbs are going to take up a lot, but it shouldn't be dramatic. You shouldn't be eating like 500 calories a day. You should probably be still eating like close to 1,000. So one day out from your competition, this is Thursday, remember you're supposed to weigh yourself in the morning and then at night to see how much weight you're dropping, and remember how much weight you typically lose in a night. So if you're around the weight you can lose in one single night, you probably don't have to sauna, you probably don't have to do any other factors. So if you don't have to do that, then you will continue just eating maybe 2 all the way up to maybe 5 eggs that morning, and that's all you're gonna eat throughout the day. And then you're gonna only drink 1/2 gallon of distilled water until noon. So once noon is over, no more drinking water. So that is if you are close to your competition weight and you can lose that in one night. Expect this day to drop you anywhere from 2 to 3 pounds. And then the night you probably will drop 1 or 2 extra pounds. So that means you probably will lose anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds within that 24 hours. Now, let's say you are not very close to your competition weight. That's when you need to start manipulating more factors. That's when you want to probably bring out some laxatives. The best one would probably be magnesium citrate. Make sure you take that in the morning, trust me, and make sure you don't have any other plans that afternoon, because it's gonna be a shitty time. With the magnesium citrate, you should probably lose an extra 5 pounds. If you're not losing that much water weight, then you probably would have to go sauna or take an Epsom salt bath. So that is if your body does not respond well to the water cut. Then you want to do the saunaing the night before. Make sure you do not sauna too early in the week. It's going to mess up everything. And then you have your weigh-ins the next day. Again, if you have 1 more pound to lose, you can do that by spitting out into a cup. That's pretty much the higher percentage weight loss. So for women who are trying to lose 7%, for men who are trying to lose 12%, that's the kind of route you should take. Usually the water manipulation, the salt manipulation, and the carb manipulation should bring you to your weight. However, again, everybody's different, so some people may need to add the laxative, the salt bath / sauna, or the spitting. So those are 3 optionals if you're not losing that weight within those 24 hours. Now, let's say you are on the lower end of the spectrum. You only need to lose 5 pounds or you have a 2-hour weigh-in. So you're on the 3% / 5% range. And again, you have a 2-hour weigh-in. You will start 6 days out. That's when we are going to start water loading. Again, 2 gallons of spring water, and this is your last high carb day. Then the next day you are still going to be water loading 2 gallons of water, and then it is a medium carb day, so cut your high carb day in half. Then the 3rd day will be another medium high carb day, 2 gallons of water. 2 days out, you're gonna have 1.5 gallons of water, regular spring water, and then 0 carbs. 1 day out, you are going to have 0 carbs and then 1 gallon of distilled water. So remember, distilled water, and drink that up until 3 p.m. As in terms of food, you can stop your food at 12 or you can stop it at 3 with your water, just because we're not trying to lose that much water. That way we're not trying to lose that much water weight. You should be peeing a lot, so expect to pee a lot, and that should probably lose the lower percent of body weight that you need. We are not manipulating salt here just because we don't need to. We are not trying to lose too much water weight. Just keep your sodium very low. And with the 2-hour weigh-in, you should never sauna. You should never be taking laxatives. You should never be spitting in a cup, just because you shouldn't even be that far out in terms of body weight, because it's going to hurt your performance if you are that heavy and you're trying to lose all that water weight, especially in a 2-hour weigh-in. So a couple of pointers that will help you is remembering to weigh yourself morning and night all the time. Keep your stress levels low, like really keep them low. Any type of stress will hold on to water weight. And then trust the process. Don't try to manipulate too many factors if you don't see something going your way when you're still 3 days out. You should still be at the same body weight as you were when you first started the water loading. So don't expect to see a huge drop around 3 days out. All this water weight you're losing should happen within the last 24 hours of your weigh-in. So those 24 hours are very crucial, because that's when you start dropping. And let's say you are doing a 24-hour weigh-in and you only need to lose the lighter side, you can do the 2-hour weigh-in chart, just move everything in. So a couple of other things that people sabotage on is saunaing way too soon. When I mean too soon is they're saunaing 3 weeks out or 2 weeks out. Don't do that. Remember, saunas, Epsom salt baths, spitting, laxatives should be your last resort. You should not rely on them. Those are my tips for you guys today. Hopefully they help. And you can screenshot the chart right here. I'm gonna put it right here. Again, hopefully this water cut template helps you guys. It works for me all the time. Just don't cave in. Don't cave into the water. I know it doesn't seem like you're gonna be thirsty, but you're gonna be very thirsty by the time 7 o'clock hits the night before weigh-ins. So don't cave into the water. I mean, it's gonna suck, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Do it for the Wilks, okay? Alright, that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!